I mentioned earlier that there's more discussion about the position of whether it's executive, more powers to the Prime Minister or not. But I'm more interested in the proposal that we've also had on these platforms. One driven by the fact that we will need 24 counties to approve this if it goes into a bill. So the governors, is this a stick and a carrot situation for the governors? Because the governors are also making demands right now. They want post their second term, something to do. How does that sit with you as a senator and a lawyer sitting looking at it from where you sit?
What, the third tier? Or
yes, the third tier.
Yes. The third tier.
Yes, to benefit the governors. Yes.
Now, the proposal of the third tier was there during the time when the BBI task force was going around. But in this document, they have said that they disagree with the process of having a third tier government, and for whatever reasons. So I heard about the third tier structure when I was in Mombasa, and when it was presented by the Coast Group through Governor Kingi. I have not seen in this document or in my several years in Senate a lacuna in law that would allow a third-tier government. Now, the principle of devolution was to decongest, deconstruct, devolve power, as opposed to centralize. The national government enjoys such a system where you have regional commanders, regional police officers, etc., etc. So I'm not quite sure whether the idea of mirroring the devolution structure to the national government is an attempt by the governors to seek for a job, because
they've made it so clear, Senator.
Because it doesn't mean that by the system being created, the second governors will be either selected or elected into those positions. It doesn't mean. But looking at what we have been doing in the past, and John Mbadi and this gentleman Moses Kuria we have been fighting endlessly about funding counties. Can we afford these sort of things, where you create another layer of government, as opposed to creating more village administrators and ward administrators? We are creating another tier system. As far as I'm concerned, that proposal is misplaced. There was a reason why this good team did not find merit in it, and I think in future we should not find merit in such a structure, because it's just going to create a necessary workload and a necessary load on Kenyans. Okay. Remember, this gentleman is famous for Punguza Mzigo, initially, even before the draft came.
Before he went to third way.
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
Punda Mechoka.
Yes, Punda Mechoka. Yes. Now, after this, and you remember that there was this big clamor about reducing counties and reducing constituencies. This task force has gone round. Listen to Kenyans. They've come back with a verdict. Keep our 290 constituencies intact. And even the ones...
Our counties also intact.
Even the protected ones, including one in Makueni called Kilome constituency. They said, please keep it intact. Okay. They have gone round also and said, please keep our 47 counties intact, including Lamu, which I mean, he has argued severally, it's a small county. Yes. So why then would we go round that when Kenyans have already given their views? That's what I'm saying. Some of the things that we are doing are absolutely outside this framework and dangerous for this. And that is why it would have been good for us to have been having a document which actualizes the views of Kenyans, as opposed to going around and giving an opportunity for people to do through passes. Yes.
Okay. Minority Leader, do you see a quid pro quo in this with the governors?
No, let me put it this way. Yes. I think there are two issues here. There are two problems here. Number one is the way the governor started the discussion around the third tier.
Yes.
They are the ones who have thrown us off balance.
I think the first person I heard who said was
Rasanga.
Governor Rasanga.
In fact, the way he put it was so, to me, I want to be polite about with him, but I didn't like it.
Why? He asked it so plainly.
He was asking, at where do you take me? Yes, it's not our business to know where Rasanga is going. By the way, looking at his age, I think he can retire.
I tell you.
Let us also accept as leaders that we can retire. But now the governors, those who are serving their last term, have, let me call it, scandalized.
How many are they? 23? 23, yes.
But Ken, the regional government would have been a very good idea, except that I think we have gone too far. Yeah. Because the 47 counties from the word go was a mistake, in my view. These counties are too tiny for proper governance structure. And that is why running the counties is very expensive.
Yeah.
But once you have given a right, it is very difficult to take it away.
Yeah.
You see, the couriers in Migori are even calling for another county.
Yes, they want to
and many other places.
Yes.
Even the Mberes,
Mwingi.
if you go to Meru, I think is it Tharaka?
Yeah.
Tharaka already has.
No, there are Mberes in Embu.
Yes.
Isn't it? They are also calling for probably another county, etc. So you cannot take away the 47 counties as created. Probably only Nairobi you can compromise and get it back to the national government as it's being proposed. But the other 46 is hard to achieve that. So where we are, but if you ask me, if we could have had a system where, in terms of government, we have it at the regional level and only use counties and even lower units as units of devolution for service delivery, it would have been much better than having these tiny counties. Look at the problems we are facing. Homa Bay is doing its own legislation, Migori legislation, Kisumu, Siaya. They come up with different legislations, which don't even make economic sense at all if they are, touching on certain issues of economy or taxation. Look at even the way of, if you have to do a road, for example, a tarmac road, how do you do a tarmac road in a county as they are currently constituted? It will terminate from one point to another. It looks like so tiny.
Homa Bay, you go to Rongo, from Rongo you hand it over to Migori.
Say Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Migori, and even the greater Kisii as one county, for example. You could even do one major road from Siaya all the way, the ring road, and have the resources and do it, and it makes economic sense. So it would have been a valid and a genuine argument. However, the way it has been brought has compromised.
The same people on the
because
table,
now it is
the same
like,
politicians are the ones who agreed on this. Same politicians.
And by the way, the third tier was in the Boma's draft, but it was killed in Naivasha. I remember we tried to reintroduce it at KIA. When now as members of parliament we were discussing the product from Naivasha. It failed. In fact, I remember someone like CS Balala was proposing that we have 81 counties. I remember one of the reasons why the regional government failed was the scramble, the fight over Nakuru and Laikipia. It was a fight between the two communities. Some people thought Nakuru should be in Rift Valley or North Rift or South Rift. Another group felt it should be in Central.
And could be the people.
So those are the issues
exactly
that actually we should have addressed. But the third tier would have worked if in 2010.
At the inception.
At the inception. We crafted it along the Boma's draft. It would have helped us even manage the cost.
We're talking about different things. Moses, still, do you think the governors have a point anyway?
First of all, as someone who understands history, it was not Rasanga Amoth who was the first one to talk about this issue. If you go back to the devolution conference 2018, it was actually Raila Odinga who mentioned it first in Kakamega. And I think that's on record, so we can't argue about that. And that time I said that I could understand, is it an economic issue or a political issue? Because that's the whole thing about this that time. And unfortunately for Raila, it was a more political issue, trying to persuade the retiring governors to support, his vision about change and all that. So it is actually Raila who planted this seed. Now, the likes of Rasanga and Kingi and all those people who are talking about this issue are talking about it as a next job. As if in a country where we have got almost 120% unemployment, people are still worried about their own personal jobs. As if going home to rear rabbits is anything wrong.
But Moses, everyone is worried about their job. Look at the judgment of this position.
23 guys, 23 guys we cannot be held hostage about 23 guys worrying about their jobs. And there are so many
not
people
all of them
from
will even get those jobs.
Absolutely. So let us do what is right. So now, we need to differentiate between that tier and regional government. Those are two issues altogether. That tier is now where we keep the national government, county government, and regional government in between. Regional government is where we amalgamate the counties. And I'll take you back to 2010.
But economic blocks already
There was a guy called Mohamed Babka, I think Mohamed Babka from South Africa, who was part of the constitution making South Africa. And he came here when he talked to these people in Naivasha and in School of Government, those people who were in this process. And he said, even in South Africa, they put three-tier when Mandela was coming in. It has never worked.
No.
Never been implemented. It only exists in the book. So three-tier is very, very, very cumbersome. So I hear what Mbadi is saying about the complexity of building, those are issues are there. But I will agree with him. Once you give it, you cannot take it back. Yeah. However, let's look at California. The state of California is 39 million people. We are 48. So we are mostly comparable. They are almost exact to the square kilometer geographical size as Kenya. So why can't we be like California? It is one state with many counties. So Kenya is equal to California, and by the way, California is the 5th largest economy in the world. Yeah. We can be like them.
Yeah. You know, there's something that you said about Raila starting the debate. Yes, it is true. Raila started the debate. Yeah, but I don't think he started it to please the governors, as you're putting it. I think what Raila Odinga referred to, and which the position we stand as ODM, because we consult a lot, we are not like Jubilee.
Yeah, that's what we have agreed.
Yeah. So now the point that Raila was trying to raise was this, that for us to have reasonable and meaningful governance structure, you need to have units that are viable. That is why you see counties are coming together. You see,
economic
they are also coming to realization that as single units, they have challenges. And therefore, although it is late, and I want to repeat that, but there is nothing wrong with the discussing. And
regional governments or economic blocks.
Those are maybe now, you see, because we are where we are.
Yes.
If we can now not create governments, because if we create a government structure, what I would envisage, if we were to create a government structure at the regional level, then we have to do something about the counties. We cannot leave the same government as it is in the counties. We have either to make sure that the executive goes to the regions, the assemblies become regional assemblies, and maybe a constituency which has 4 wards will now have only 2 wards. But are you going to will you succeed in having Kenyans support that? That is the political question. And I think that is why the BBI task force left out this.
They abandoned it.
Yes.
Let me just chip into what John Mbadi is saying. You know, if we remove all these political side shows, these are very weighted discussions that we should be having.
Yes.
And especially as people who our parents invested in our education to go to school.
Yeah.
So that we can be able to tackle the small issues. You know, Kenya is the only country we want to industrialize, but we have not conquered jiggers. You know, we can be able to get taste of these small issues and discuss and get,
the jiggers are.
Yeah.